All right, let's talk about something that so many people in the UK get stuck on. How in the world do you find your old self-assessment tax returns? Well, with a little help from the experts over at My Tax Accountant, we're going to clear that up today. Whether you need them for a mortgage application or just for your own records, knowing exactly where to look is absolutely crucial. So picture this. You've found your dream house. You're applying for the mortgage, or maybe you're trying to get a loan for your business, and bam, the lender asks for proof of your income for the last 2 or 3 years. It's a super common roadblock, especially if you're self-employed. But don't worry, we're going to walk you right through it. So let's get you started and unlock your complete UK tax history. It's easier than you think. Now, before we jump into the nitty-gritty of how to find these things, let's just take a second to talk about why you even need them. These aren't just old files collecting digital dust. They are a vital piece of your financial puzzle. The big one, of course, is for loan and mortgage obligations. It's how banks verify what you earn. But they're also absolutely essential if HMRC decides to audit you. And here's something you really need to remember. If you're self-employed, you are legally required to keep these records for at least 5 years after the submission deadline. So yeah, they're pretty important. Okay, so once you manage to log into the HMRC portal, you're going to see a couple of different document names flying around. It can be a bit confusing, so let's break down the two most important ones you'll need.
Here's the main thing you need to get your head around. Think of the SA 302 as your tax calculation. It's the detailed breakdown of everything you earned. The tax year overview, on the other hand, shows the tax you actually paid on that income. Now, this is the crucial part. Lenders will almost always ask for both documents, and they expect the numbers to match up perfectly.
Right, ready for the practical part? Let's walk through exactly how to find and download these documents right from your HMRC online account. First things first, a little tip to save yourself a headache. Before you even open your web browser, get these 3 things ready. Your government gateway login details, your 10-digit unique taxpayer reference, that's your UTR, and of course, your national insurance number. Okay, first up, the SA 302. Once you're logged in, go straight to the self-assessment section. The option you're looking for is pretty clearly labeled Get Your SA 302 Tax Calculation. You'll click through a couple of screens, and then you'll see an option to print your full calculation. Now here's the trick. You're not actually going to print it. Just use your computer's print function to save as PDF. Easy. And you'll be happy to hear that getting the tax year overview is almost the exact same process. You start in the same self-assessment area, but this time you just click on View Your Tax Year Overview. Pick the year you need, and once again, use that print option to save it as a PDF file. And finally, what if you need the entire detailed SA 100 tax return form? It's just as simple. Go into the correct tax year, find the link that says View/Print/Store Your Return. And here's a little pro tip for you. Choose the color copy option before you view the PDF. It's just a lot easier to read that way. Okay, so you've downloaded your return, you're looking it over, and your heart just sinks. You've spotted a mistake. First off, take a breath. Don't panic. It happens to more people than you'd think, and thankfully, there's a clear process to get it fixed. The single most important thing here is timing. You have a fixed window to make changes online, and that window is 12 months from the original filing deadline. So let's say a return was due January 31st, 2024. That means you have until January 31st, 2025 to make any changes online. Fixing it online is actually super straightforward. You just log back into your account, find the self-assessment section for the year you need to amend, and the system will guide you through updating whichever parts are wrong. Just make sure you double-check everything carefully before you hit that resubmit button. But what happens if you've missed that 12-month deadline? What then? Well, if you found an error that means you've paid too much tax, all is not lost. You can still make a claim for something called overpayment relief. You have to do this by writing a letter to HMRC, but you have a much longer window, 4 years from the end of that tax year. So what happens when things just don't go to plan? You know, even with the clearest instructions, sometimes you just hit a wall. Let's cover a few of the most common issues and, more importantly, how to solve them. So here are the top 3 problems people usually run into. If you've completely forgotten your login details, don't worry. Just use the password reset function on the HMRC site. If the website is glitching out on you, your best bet is to just call the HMRC helpline. And if you prefer paper copies or don't have good internet, you can always call them and ask them to post the documents to you. But let's be honest, sometimes a situation is a bit more complicated than that. Or maybe you just want the peace of mind that comes from having a professional double-check everything to make sure it's 100% correct. And that's really where getting some professional help is the smartest move. If you want assistance with any part of this, or you just want an expert to make sure everything is spot on, you can reach out to the team at My Tax Accountant. You can get them on WhatsApp or by phone at 07854 255 375, or you can drop them an email at info@mytaxaccountant.co.uk. And that brings us to our final thought. Getting these documents is a practical task, but it really points to a much bigger question. Your tax history? Well, that's the financial story you're telling the world. So is it telling the right story about where you're headed?